Imagine the thrill of a beloved comedian storming back onto the stage after a forced hiatus, only to shatter records and ignite a national debate on free speech. That's the electrifying comeback of Jimmy Kimmel. But here's where it gets controversial. His triumphant return isn't just about laughs. It's sparking heated discussions on censorship and political influence in entertainment. And this is the part most people miss. How his fellow late-night stars are rallying around him, turning rivalry into solidarity. Let's dive into the details of Jimmy Kimmel's resurgence and the warm and witty support from peers like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon, all while exploring why this moment feels so pivotal in today's media landscape. Jimmy Kimmel made his victorious comeback to the airwaves on September 23rd with his show Jimmy Kimmel Live, and it's already a massive hit for ABC. Even though the network initially yanked it off the air, and some affiliates, those local stations that broadcast network shows in specific regions, like Nexstar and Sinclair, still won't carry it, Kimmel's debut episode drew an incredible 6.26 million viewers. That's a whopping 300% increase over the show's usual audience numbers, proving that fans are tuning in despite the hurdles. For beginners wondering about affiliates, think of them as partners that help shows reach homes across the country. When they refuse, it means millions miss out on the broadcast. But streaming and online views fill the gap. Beyond TV ratings, Kimmel's return has exploded online, becoming a hot topic amid rising concerns about the misuse of the First Amendment and free speech in our polarized political environment. The 57-year-old host's opening monologue from his comeback has racked up 19 million views on YouTube as of now, his most watched clip in over 3 years. And even the follow-up episode's monologue is nearing 3.4 million views. This surge highlights how late-night comedy can blend humor with serious commentary, making complex issues like government overreach accessible to everyday viewers. Kimmel's revival has earned glowing endorsements from across the TV world and his celebrity admirers, including programs like Live with Kelly and Mark, Today with Jenna Friends, and The View. But perhaps most heartwarming are the cheers from his competitors in the late-night scene, who have banded together to support one of their own. It's a reminder that in the cutthroat world of TV, camaraderie can shine through. Here are some standout reactions from Kimmel's late-night colleagues, from Jimmy Fallon to Stephen Colbert, each adding their unique flair and, in some cases, subtle jabs at broader issues. You might also enjoy a comparison of all late-night hosts' ratings following Jimmy Kimmel's suspension, and introduction to Molly McNearney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and the force behind his success. A look at Jimmy Kimmel's net worth during the show's cancellation. Jimmy Fallon, on his own program, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Fallon quipped during his Tuesday monologue, "If you're here expecting me to comment on my suspension over the past few days, well, you're tuned in to the wrong Jimmy, buddy. The other Jimmy, pal." He kept it light, but the official Tonight Show social media page chimed in on Kimmel's monologue clip with a heartfelt, "Welcome back, Jimmy. We love you." Stephen Colbert. In his September 24 monologue on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, the host beamed. "I'm feeling great because last night our buddy Jimmy Kimmel came back to TV, and I'm so proud of him. So proud to call that guy a friend." Jimmy delivered a powerful message on free speech and togetherness, cracked some killer jokes, poured out his emotions, and crushed it in the ratings. He even poked fun at a potential live-action version of Guillermo Stitch, nodding to his sidekick Guillermo Diaz, and celebrated Kimmel's YouTube triumph by noting, "That's no small feat in this industry," before joking, "Though that still leaves you about 5 billion views short of El Chombo's viral hit with the dancing alien." Seth Meyers wrapping up his monologue on Late Night with Seth Meyers on Monday, which largely targeted Donald Trump's administration and its stance on censorship. Meyers announced to the audience, "Just before we started filming, We heard that our pal Jimmy Kimmel is back on air, sparking enthusiastic applause. He went on, "There's been a huge public outcry against Trump's assault on free speech, even from conservatives. I haven't seen the polls yet, but if you asked Americans whether the president should control what TV hosts say, I'd bet you'd get around 3% in favor." He then cut to a clip of Trump claiming media coverage of him is 97% negative, driving home the irony. Jon Stewart during Monday's The Daily Show, Stewart declared, young Jimmy Kimmel is heading back to television, and riffed that he was soaring high like Advil in response to Trump's recent Tylenol remark. He also touched on the mass exodus from Disney Plus subscriptions after ABC's decision, with people puzzling over whether Hulu was included. It's one thing to ditch cruises, but the Avengers? No way, Stewart continued. How does ditching one company mean I can't watch Winnie the Pooh, Monday Night Football, or listen to early Hilary Duff? He even belted out a bit of her song So Yesterday, before adding, I'd keep going, but Disney's lawyers are no joke. John Oliver, on Monday's Last Week Tonight, Oliver tackled Kimmel's suspension within a larger critique of the administration's efforts to stifle late-night political banter, which has long relied on playful jabs at authority. He referenced his writing team's Emmy win on September 14th, noting that in their acceptance speech, when he thanked the recognition of late-night political satire, while it still exists, the cutaway to Kimmel in the audience now seems eerily prophetic, leaving the crowd in stitches. This whole saga raises eyebrows about the balance between comedy and politics. Is it fair for networks or affiliates to censor based on external pressures? And what does it say about free speech when a president's tweets can sway programming? Some argue it's a slippery slope toward broader media control, while others see it as accountability for biased content. But here's where it gets really divisive. Could this backlash actually strengthen voices like Kimmel's, or is it just a temporary win in a bigger battle over truth in entertainment? What do you think? Do you agree that Kimmel's return highlights the importance of protecting comedic freedom, or do you see it as overblown hype? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss.